And I get to now bring on Brother Astarius. Um, Hello, my friend. I love your background, by the way. I love all that. There's a lot going on, inside and outside. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It is really an honor to be representing the frequency of love and the frequency of miracles. For me, the miracle is the mirror call. It is the calling of the miracle, because everything that we experience as a miracle is a mirrored reflection of that which lives within the inner sanctum of our being. All miracles that are presented outwardly, is a means for us to objectively engage with something on the screen of our life, which is really generated from the soul projector of our own individual being. The miracle is projected from within the inner sanctum of us. And it's been such an honor to understand that. So I don't have to chase down miracles because my nature is the miracle. And of course, the greatest miracle is the frequency of love. And what has been so magnificent in my journey down the corridors of this thing we call love is recognizing how easy it is to love me, to love others, which are also me by extension. And what makes love so easy is the awareness that I don't do love, love does me. And so, in order to come into the full magnitude of the vibration of love, I simply let love love me. I let love have its way with me. A very wise person once said that God has a center that is everywhere and a circumference that is nowhere. And I will add to that that love has a center that is everywhere, a circumference that is nowhere. There is no boundary that can hold down the expansiveness of the vibration of love. Love is always doing what love does. I can't not love me. You can't not love you. What can happen is we allow our attention to be hijacked and we pay attention to everything but the frequency of the love. And it appears that we're not loving ourselves. And sometimes it appears that we're even loathing ourselves, while at the same time, standing in the circle of eternity is this greater vastness of who we are about the eternal business of loving us and loving the all that is. I let love love me. When I let love love me, I know that every being in the whole of existence is also me loving me. When I let love love me, I recognize that any being loving themselves is a representation of that which is going on inside of me. Because every being on the screen of my life exists first and foremost as cellular counterparts inside of the inner sanctum of me. And so it is such an honor to be in the embrace of love and to know that what it takes to make up my reality and experience with love is not just the exclusiveness of my own personal dance with love, but the all inclusiveness of the oneness of the wholeness of the dances with love that are, were, and ever will be, because all of that is also me. And I love you so much. Oh, beautiful. First of all, I want to do my acknowledgments and acknowledging you, Brother Scott. We go back many, many, many years, and I'm in deep celebration of your contribution to the expansion of life and also as a brother, because it's the women that are predominantly doing the spiritual work relative to the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see a man doing the spiritual work and yielding to, the guidance of Goddess within, because she guides, because she teaches us to be receptive. So I love you, brother, and I celebrate you for that. And Eden, it's been many, many, many years since we met on the ecstatic dance floor. I won't even try to say what year it was. And so it's wonderful to see you again and to bear witness to your evolvement and the way that you've been contributing to life. And I love you. I appreciate love you and acknowledge you, for the things that you're doing. And it's so wonderful. And also Niurka, it's been a lot of years there, and we've had some profound moments of exchange. So I just wanted to take a moment and just acknowledge everybody. And then when it comes to the difficulties to move through. First of all, today is a very special day for me because 49 years ago, on the 23rd of January, I entered onto my spiritual path consciously and with deliberate intention. And prior to that, I had 6 years, I call it my 6 years of insanity, growing up in the ghettos of Chicago, leaving mama's house at age 16. All my role models were pimps and hoes and gangsters and thieves and con men, con women, and drug salesmen. And I was a part of that treachery for 6 years. So I had to find my way out of that treachery. And it was on January the 23rd of 1973, that I was able to see my way out of that. Now, one of the things that really helps me a lot when it comes to the shadows that I experience in life is not judging my shadows, not being treacherous with my treachery, and not being treacherous with the treachery of others. Sometimes we don't realize the way in which we're actually perpetuating treachery by being so judgmental of it. So when I look at pain and despair, I recognize that pain is an angel in distress. Fear is an angel in distress. Worry, an angel in distress. Why? Because if we pierce to the central core of that fear, of that pain, of that anger, we find nothing but pure light. Just like in the eye of the storm, we find pure calm. See, in the tornado or the hurricane, and all of that turbulent, violent wind, we go to the center, the eye of the storm, and it's just pristine calm. So the tornado comes down the block and demolishes every house on one side of the street and leaves every house on the other side of the street totally intact. Because the houses that were demolished were passed over by the storm itself. The houses that were left intact were passed over by the eye of the storm, which is where only calm lives. And so when I'm faced with the difficulties of life, I do what I can do to find my way to the I and the I am of the storm, because that's the real estate of God Almighty. There is nothing but benevolence and love and joy and peace and brotherhood and sisterhood that live within the central core of anything. And so it's also important for me that I don't judge myself and criticize myself and make myself bad or wrong for when I stumble and fall. Because being impeccable doesn't mean we never make a mistake. Being impeccable means that when we recognize we've made a mistake, we get back on course. We course correct. That's impeccable. You see, being a human being is never going to be about never making mistakes. But the key is to have a benevolent and a tender heart and a forgiving heart regarding the mistakes that we individually make or that others make. And then recognizing that all of my heroes and all of my sheroes and all of those who have went before me are a mirrored reflection of my very own self. When I look at them from a place of all inclusiveness and connection, not separation. So in order to come into the full magnitude of who we are as a loving being and to transcend the trials and tribulations, we must bear witness to and embrace the reality of our oneness with every exalted being that is, was, or ever will be. We got to link up the telepathic battery cables, our heart mind to their heart mind, initiate the soul jumpstart. And just like one car jumpstarts another, when the battery's gone down, we're able to jumpstart ourselves by virtue of being absolutely in the oneness and the embrace of every exalted something that we ever witness with any being, within any being, because their exaltation is our exaltation. My exaltation is your exaltation. Your exaltation, my exaltation, and all exaltation is our exaltation. And I love you with the passion of heaven.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. Well, just logistically, I did get that video. Hopefully, it made it to you, emailed it to you. And so, yeah, I had to like put on my technical hat to get that done. Hopefully, expectfully, it made it through. Uh, and also, I don't know if Niurka, if you're still with us, I don't see you on camera.
I am
Oh,
here.
you're still there.
Yes.
So you were gone when I acknowledged you. I just wanted to take a moment to make sure you got my acknowledgement. I appreciate all of those years ago when we circled in. I love you so much and thank you for your contribution. And then also, I want to respond to your statement about compassion. You know, I talk to my clients all the time about the distinction between compassion and sacrifice. Now, the empath can operate from the place of either compassion or sacrifice. And probably a great many of us who are empathic operate more so from sacrifice. And sacrifice is win lose. When you sacrifice, they win, you lose. And so I say to the empath, when someone asks you for something, you know, those who are so emotionally sensitive to other people's stuff, always say to them, whether they're asking you for your time or your money. So, you know, I'm going to meditate on it, I'm going to sleep on it, and I'll get back with you. So you make the decision away from them. You put that buffer of time and space between you. Because sometimes when one says the snap yes, while in the company of the one that's asking them for something, they are so unknowingly overshadowed by the energy of the other person, confusing that to be their own energy and feeling like they have to comply, you see. And so we as empaths, we want to trade in our sacrifice for compassion. Compassion is always win-win. Compassion will never let you hurt yourself while giving to another. Compassion will teach you how to give equally unto yourself while giving unto all others. And lastly, relative to the empath, and I'm very empathic myself, and I learned this for me, is that one of the greatest powers of the empath is that we can, by deliberate intention, choose what we want to be empathically impressed upon by. I could say, I choose to be empathically impressed upon by bliss. I choose to be empathically impressed upon by the peace that passeth understanding. I choose to be empathically impressed upon by the eternal thrust of creation, and on and on and on again. When we see those that are exalted in the resonance of what we want, then we empathically choose to receive the baptism of that by virtue of the receivership of our empathic nature. So that's my response to that. And then, beloveds, I'd like to take you on just a little short poetic journey. A couple of selections from my book, Miraculii, Song of Ascension. Just some energies to help quicken the spirit and raise us up. And this one also, I'm going to start with I Do Take Me. I love myself with all my heart, eternal knowing God impart. No more hatred, no more pain, legacy of heaven mine to claim. Once I really hated me, a self-induced catastrophe. Others began to hate me too. Hate's reflection became my doom. When I look in any mirror, each reflection is my own. If I dislike that which I am, rejection by others will be shown. In self-acceptance, let me grow to hereby let all others know I want them to accept me too. They only follow what I do. I ask myself to marry me to thus fulfill my destiny. I promise always to be true. Self-love and honor I am due. Sweet self, I'm sorry for the pain. Forgive and love me once again. I want me for eternity, a better lover than to be. Now every bond is sweeter too, for loving me is loving you. Within the temple of heaven's house, I do take me to be my spouse. Relationship created from above, a vessel for the journey of love. Sailing upon the human seas, mirrors of self that set us free. Our human goal above any other to reveal one another to each other. When I relate to you, I learn and I see, and yet my greatest learning is always about me. Relationship must be the key to my self-mastery. The past is gone, the future takes too long. Time to sing a current song. Only now can take me home, only now can show me how my life, oh heaven, re-endow. Emotional pain from long ago within my heart grips to and fro. How many others will I blame for the horrors of my pain? Resentment pushed me from the tower. Forgiveness is my get-up power. Forgive the past, trust the present, make the future sweet and pleasant. It is wise not to despise it. Use the dung to fertilize it. For life's greatest connoisseur gets the best crops from the best manure. I say the heathen spoil the seed and cause my little heart to bleed. Yet if I had not the need, they couldn't do these awful deeds. If in fact I need the lesson, the pain they cause becomes my blessing. The real truth is they work for me, so what shall be their salary? To ensure that it serves me best, I'll pay them the wages of forgiveness. Relationship the vessel, relationship the star vessel. Relationship is a vessel for the journey of true love. No matter who the bond is with, the journey leads back home above. God is all there really is. This the truth will surely tell. Forgotten oneness with my God, now trapped within an earthly spell. Once upon eternity, there was nothing else but me, an all-pervading godliness with every possibility. Then I split myself in two to be the me as well as you, and then to be the multitude, but oneness never to exclude. I danced the dance of harmony with every living part of me, then roll me all back into one. The one in all was so much fun. Then part of me felt at a loss, unless it be a separate boss. A bitter war I waged with me, lost in hell, no longer free. I forgot that I was whole and ripped apart, my very soul, the life within, cannot be lost. Illusion was the only cost. Cease the war, no more attack. Heaven, you must take me back. Hand in hand with all of me again, I'm ready to be free. Though from my path I once did stray, forgiveness says it's all okay. Now all I be is homeward bound, where only wholeness can be found. Love of all the key to me, a bridge to God where I am free. Everything through oneness shown. Infinite love, now take me home. And so, beloved, feel the resonance of who you are as a focalization of all of the love that is, was, or ever will be. All of the benevolence that is, was, or ever will be. And come home to the absoluteness of yourself. And lastly, know that you make a monumental impact upon the expansion of life, and that you are a blessing unto Creator Source, that God, Goddess Almighty, is over the moon by virtue of the blessing that you are, because you and your individualization of being are a blessing unto Creator Source that is unduplicatable. God gets something from you that God, Goddess cannot get from anywhere else or anyone else.
Wow.
Ow! Hey. I would like to chime in response to that question, if I may.
Hmm.
Beautiful, Eden.
So when a beloved is coming from a place that we don't particularly resonate with, or there is an indifference between ourselves and them, what I have learned is that it's very powerful to see them from a place of all inclusiveness rather than a place of exclusiveness. So if I go into the exclusiveness of this so-called dark shadow place that they're coming from, now I'm defining them according to that exclusive misbehavior or whatever I might want to call it. But if I look all inclusively and I look at their, in the course of eternity, there is a resonance of their being that comes from shining benevolence. In the course of eternity, there is a dance that I'm having with them that the heavens are over the moon about. See, and so it's like not just being in the painful acknowledgement of the indifference of the moment, but looking larger. The other thing is letting go of the expectation of desperation, where I desperately need them to hurry up and be different so that I can be comfortable. Rather than the expectation of desperation, I'm going to morph into the expectation of inspiration, with the understanding that in due season, all clarities will reveal themselves in due season, in the course of eternity. And also, when I'm looking larger, when I'm not zeroed in on this shadow stuff that I feel pain about, but rather I'm looking at a higher something. Even if they can't exemplify that something, I'm going to see that reality for them. And when I'm looking larger, I'm feeling better because my attention is not upon the lower frequency of that painful stuff. And also, that which I affirm for the drop, I affirm for the ocean. If I'm affirming this individual beloved's negativity, I am by extension affirming the negativity or the would-be negativity of the universe. What I think about the drop, I think about the ocean. And so it's being aware that there's a larger something at play. And even when we share the truth or share our truth and we feel they don't get it, because we all want to be heard and we all want to be understood. But again, moving from exclusiveness to all inclusiveness, because every time we dance with a beloved, we're having a rendezvous with God in the whole universe. Now, this individual may not be ready for what it is that we're sharing. And yet there may be 10,000 others in the universe that's ripe and ready for the same message. Because the communication and the dance I'm having with them is not exclusive, it's all inclusive. I am having communion with the whole of the universe through an individual being. By virtue of being in that awareness, now again, I'm looking larger, so I'm feeling better. And I'm also looking at the fact that even if they're not ready for what I'm sharing, it's going to become a deposit within their soul bank, accumulating interest until such time that they're ready to withdraw it. Because some of the truths we share are time released. They don't always activate right away. Sometimes they activate down the road. And so we let go of longing. We morph from longing to belonging. I don't have to long to be heard, because I belong to being heard, and being heard belongs to me. And Niurka, I would love to offer to you another facet, actually the creator of manifestation. You know, we all have this resonance with manifestation, and it's so important. But before we can manifest, we have to femifest. So femifestation is actually the creator of manifestation. You know, the great femifestation is eternal, a never-ending, formless stream of life. If manifestation is our only thrill, we're then in the grips of fear and strife, for forms will come and forms will go. This is a truth that we all know. All things of time and space at some point will be erased. So the power of the great femifestation is it is the womb of creation, you know, out of which all possibilities are born. You know, the great femifestation represents eternal possibilities. those that will actually come into manifestation, and those that will just stay in the realm of potential. But all of those exist within the great femifestation, which is like in the creation story. It says, so God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Well, the without form and void is the great femifestation. And every reality, because we are pregnant with every reality that will ever come to be, they are embryos within our soul, even though our human eyes have yet to see. So we see with the eye of mind and heart into infinite realms of the great unseen, choosing wonderful feelings without concrete reasons, and all the riches of the kingdom are now ours to redeem the great femifestation, the womb of creation, primordial cause of all manifestation. And my last offering, I want to share the poem that I wrote for the year of 2022. I call this 2022 Happy New Eternal Now. Enter portal 2022, frequency of the deeper you. Waking up the sleeping me, access code to what is true. Crescendolini, inner genie, wake up now, my kundalini. Traveling on ascension waves, future power of ancient days, 31st of midnight hour, opening up my inner power, and from fear I transcend. 2 years merge and converge, calling forth the freedom urge to enter into something new and merge with all that I once knew. Happy New Year is twofold, marriage of the new and old. Happy New Year, N-E-W. Happy New Year, K-N-E-W. For us, there is nothing new except that which we always knew. Kundalini, crescendolini, dream awake my inner genie. Great crescendo through the window, happy new I am. Kundalini, crescendolini, dream awake your inner genie. Great crescendo through the window, happy new you are. And so I just want to put it out there that we come to recognize the synergy between the new NEW, which is of time, and the new KNEW, which is of eternity. Because for us, there is nothing new except that which we always knew. So we are in the resonance of the happy new, the new and the new. And it's such a beautiful thing to remember that because it's all already, inside. And beloveds, all of you who are out there and all of you who get the replay, thank you so much for remembering who you are, coming home to yourself, loving yourself no matter what, and following the example of Creator Source. God, Goddess Absolute, loves us all with an infinite love and validates us with an infinite validation by virtue of one fact, and that is that we are. There is nothing that we could do, achieve, or create that would cause the love of God to be one iota different for us. So let it be that we begin to love ourselves in that way. I am, therefore I love me. I am, therefore, at peace. And I love you because loving you is loving me by extension. Aho, ashe, amen, namaste. And you put your arms around yourself, pinch yourself on all four cheeks, top and bottom, sweet cheekaboo for you. You probably played peekaboo, but cheekaboo is a whole nother fun.
All right, so I want to let people know how you can get more Astarius. And first of all, let's go to his website. His website is his name. It's simple, Astarius.com, Astarius.com.